Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How is everybody doing today? Hopefully everybody is doing well. In today's video, guys, we are going to be talking about a release that I'm pretty excited for, and that is the new 4K release from Scream Factory. It's Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. All right, guys, well, first off, we can't really talk about Dawn of the Dead without talking about George Romero, which today just happens to be his birthday, so we're going to wish him a happy birthday, even though he's no longer with us. You still kind of have to recognize the fact that it's his birthday. I mean, come on, it's George Romero. Now, some of you may know this. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this on the channel, but first of all, the original Dawn of the Dead is not only my all-time favorite zombie movie, it's my all-time favorite horror movie in general. And so when I was younger, when I was in my early 20s, right around the time that this movie came out, maybe my mid-20s, I think it was 2004 or so this movie came out, I was already fairly familiar with George Romero. I'd seen Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and I had already kind of made a decision that Dawn of the Dead, out of those three at least that I had seen, was my personal favorite. And so when this movie came out, I didn't actually see this movie till a little ways after it was actually released. And I was a little hesitant because I didn't, when there's a movie that you like so much, like I like Dawn of the Dead, you really kind of want the remake to be good, but you don't want it to try to be like a complete copy remake. Like, you want it to be its own movie. And I remember when I first saw this back in the day, I was very surprised when I saw it. I was very happy with the outcome. I thought that this was a pretty solid remake. Now, I haven't seen this movie in probably 15 years or so, maybe 10 years. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. I've only seen it a couple of times. And this is directed by Zack Snyder. And I got to tell you right now, I'm not a big Zack Snyder fan. Now, back then when I first saw this movie, I'll be completely honest with you, I probably didn't even know who Zack Snyder was. So, but now, years and years and years later, revisiting it, I was a little concerned because I had seen quite a few Zack Snyder movies at this point, and most of them I was not a big fan of, so I was a little worried to go back and rewatch this. I was like, is it still as good as I remember, or is it going to be really bad? Is this going to be a movie that I thought was a pretty worthy remake and now not like it at all? Well, luckily for me, it holds up. And I was very happy about that. And so the thing that I liked about this movie and what Zack Snyder did, and I got to give him some props for this, is the fact that he made a Dawn of the Dead, a George Romero Dawn of the Dead remake, but he didn't make a George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. He did his own thing with this. Yes, it is a remake, but at the same time, it's Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. He made it his own movie. He didn't try to copy George Romero scene for scene. I mean, you can't really do that. Like, for example, in here, like in the original one, the zombies are slow. The whole movie is kind of quirky. There's a lot of scenes in there with the zombies that's pretty much kind of just like slapstick comedy. You don't get any of that in here. These are fast zombies. They kind of boosted up the horror factor. It's not really funny at all. It's more of just a straight horror movie. But yet it is a remake with its own twist. And I gotta give Zack Snyder props for doing that, even though I'm not a fan of some of his other movies. With this one, I think he did a pretty darn good job. All right, so we're going to delve just a little bit into the release. So this movie is directed by Zack Snyder. It came out in, I believe, 2004. This 4K release is the collector's edition that came out of Shout Factory, Scream Factory. And you get this nice slipcover, which, if I remember correctly, I believe this was the original cover art. But you get this nice little slipcover. There's no reversible artwork. It's just more of the same artwork, and it's a 3-discer. You get some cool artwork. On the disc right there. Right there, that one's upside down. So yeah, you get some artwork on there. There's no reversible artwork. You do get a good amount of special features. I'm not going to delve real deep into them. I'll hold it up there and you guys can pause it and read it if you want to. But I'll just briefly go over a little bit of the specs of the movie. Let's see. So with this, you do get a new 4K scan from the original negative. But this is an unrated cut. So then you do get unrated inserts from the 2K digital intermediate. So there are scenes in this that I thought didn't look as good as some of the other ones, and that's probably because those other scenes are just a Blu-ray version of the for the unrated scenes that get added in. And so yeah, you get a bunch of you get some documentaries on here. There's some like archive type interviews. There's a whole bunch of stuff on here. There's interviews with Zack Snyder, James Gunn, who wrote the movie, who a lot of people know who did like Guardians of the Galaxy and what was that, Slither? I think Slither was the name of one of his other movies. Everybody knows James Gunn. But yeah, anyway, this is overall, I thought this was a good release. Let's talk real quick about how it looked. It looked really good. I was very, very impressed with the way that it looked. You do get HDR, and the HDR definitely helps this. It actually, it really makes it a lot deeper. You can really tell, like outside, like with the blue sky and like the green grass and the trees. I mean, everything is dark and bold. And like some movies they put out there, it's like HDR doesn't do anything for it. The HDR really did quite a bit of improvement into this. It really gave the whole picture like a depth, and it just looked really good. It's just solid all around colors. The details on the face I thought looked fantastic. I had absolutely no issues there. The grain level, some scenes were a little bit grainier than others, but it still didn't look like it was wiped super clean. Some of those other scenes that might have been a little bit grainier, those might have been some of the scenes that were the 2K scan unrated version. But overall, I mean, it still had the grain there. It looked like you were watching a film, but it was thin. It was done up very, very nicely. Let's see, with the audio you get, let me see here. Yeah, so you get the DTS Master Audio 5.1. If there's anything that I'm going to complain about a little bit, I kind of feel like if you're going to do a great transfer, put in HDR, Dolby Vision, it looks good, everything about it looks good, try to get that Dolby Atmos track. Let's boost it up. Not to say that the track on here is bad. I believe it's the same one that just got transferred over from the Blu-ray. And I had absolutely no issues with it. It still sounded good. It gave my speakers a little bit of a workout. Everything up front sounded nice and clear. When there was stuff that was happening in the surround sound, sorry, can't talk. It sounded really good out of my speakers, and I had no complaints. But I kind of feel like just get that Atmos track. Let's boost it up just a little bit more just to make this a 100% great release. If that's the only thing that I'm going to complain about or nitpick, I would definitely just say that is it, that there's no Dolby Atmos track. It's not a deal breaker. I would definitely highly recommend this. I don't actually have the Blu-ray, but I've seen other Blu-ray shots, comparisons other people have done, and it looks like it is a pretty massive improvement above the Blu-ray. I can only judge on what is on here, and like from what I said, what I saw on here, I thought it looked really good. Dark, deep colors. It just really gets you in the mood more when it looks really good, and this movie definitely does. So if you want a great zombie movie on 4K that looks great, that is a worthy remake, I recommend that you run out and get Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead 4K from Scream Factory. I was super happy with it, and I'm pretty sure you will be too. Well, that's it, guys. That's all I got for you today. I want to try to keep this video kind of short and sweet and just get to the point. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Let you know you guys like what I'm doing. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video. Let me know down below. Did you pick this up? What do you think of the remake? Did you think it was a good remake? Did you think it was a bad remake? What are your thoughts on the original Dawn of the Dead? Are you planning on picking this up? Let me know. Let's continue the conversation in the comments, guys. I love talking about this. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are all amazing as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.